What's up guys, Adam here and welcome to the final episode of Season 1 in this AC Milan Master League in PES 2017. So I wanted to wrap up this episode by playing all 6 of my last games. I didn't want to do any live commentary because I wanted to take this video just to talk to you guys, just to thank you a lot for the support in these PES 2017 videos. Also, to the people who watch FIFA and watch PES, thank you very much. For the people who just watch PES, thank you for being patient and thank you for bearing with me through this season. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, we do finish in a Europa League spot for next season. You guys will see exactly where we finish by the end of this episode. And I want to get into some, player evaluations, talking about some players that I signed, talking about some players that are maybe on their way out, and talking about some potential players that I might be getting next season, and also talking about some players who were very, very vital in this first season. Obviously, the standout players being Donnarumma, Romagnoli, Bacca, Niang. But I'm going to talk about all this in this episode while you guys see all the last 6 games in this Serie A season. So let's jump into it. We're going to be starting off with the season in review. Obviously, we had some ups and downs. We lost some games. We had so many draws this season. It was absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me through the hardships, the good times, the bad times. And yeah, we had a lot of draws this season, as well as a lot of victories and not that many losses, which obviously hurts us in the table because when you draw, you only pick up 1 point, and that does hurt the team, especially when we were trying to get into the Champions League spot. It was very, very tough for us picking up all those draws. We were dominating some of the games, but still walking out of there with either losses or draws. It was just, I don't even know what was going on, but our team pushed through and we ended up finishing in a Europa League spot. I didn't want to play the Europa League in the first season because I actually wanted to gain entrance into an international tournament like the Champions League or the Europa League. I didn't want to just start at the Europa League. I thought that was kind of stupid, so I was pushing for either a Champions League or a Europa League spot, and we do get the I think not the final Europa League spot. You guys will see exactly what it is. But yeah, we're in Europa League next season. We're going to start off with players who are staying 100% next season. We have Donnarumma is staying 100%. Calabria, Gomez, Romagnoli. De Sciglio's going to stay. I think De Sciglio's going to stay. I think I'm going to keep him for another few seasons, or maybe even his entire career. He's been actually playing really, really good in the season. We have Douglas Santos, who's going to stay. He's going to transition his way into the team, I guess, by being a substitute, and then he's going to eventually get some first team minutes, some starting 11 minutes. Suso's staying, Locatelli's staying, Lapadula is staying. I don't know why I went to the strikers right away, but Lapadula is staying. I want to keep him for at least another 2 seasons or something like that. Bonaventura is staying. Paredes is going to be there. He's going to be in the starting 11 almost every single match. You're never going to catch him like on the bench for like no reason besides maybe fitness issues. One big player that I don't know if he's going to stay or not is Kuchka. You probably thought I was going to say Bacca, but I don't know about Kuchka because obviously, he's starting to decline. You saw it throughout these episodes that Kuchka is actually starting to decline in overall. He's been going down in overall, and, you know, obviously some of his stats are going to go down. But I still think he's a very good player, good passer of the ball, decent shooter. He just needs to work on his long shots. But I don't know what I'm going to do with Kuchka. I want to keep him because obviously we're going to have a lot of games next season. We're going to have to rotate the squad. So he might be only playing the Serie A matches or maybe even only the Europa League matches. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with Kuchka. But as of right now, I'm angling towards making him stay. Next up, we have Bacca. Bacca is a player who scored, I think, 20 goals or 21 or maybe even 19. I'm not really sure. I lost track how many goals Bacca scored. He was just absolutely phenomenal. Even in the bad games, he would sometimes find a way to put the ball into the back of the net. And if he has a creator behind him, he's always going to finish once he gets into the 18-yard box. I think I'm going to keep him for one more season. I really, really do like him. And yeah, Niang is staying 100%. Lobato, the youth player, is staying 100%. Let's go to the bench. We have Abate, who I think is still there, or I don't even know if I sold him. Whatever, I think I'm going to keep him. Backup keeper is going to be Gabriel. Garay, I honestly picked him up. I don't even know why I picked him up. I think I'm going to get rid of him. I'm not going to use him. Paleta's going to have to go because he's decreasing in stats. Jose Sosa is going to have to go because he's decreasing in stats. Matias Fernandez is going to have to go. He played some decent games, but he's going to have to go because he is decreasing in some stats. Locatelli is staying 100%. 100,000% he's staying at the club. We're getting back Rodrigo Eli from loan, and I think I am going to keep him, play him in some Coppa Italia matches, play him in some games against some lower league sides, and maybe if we play versus like Serie B teams, he is definitely going to play. And honestly, that's about it. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I think I said Renato Sanchez. If I didn't, I'm keeping him. He's going to slowly transition himself into the starting 11 the same way Douglas Santos is going to start transitioning himself into the lineup. And honestly, I'm not going to go out and make some crazy signings because right now we have a 94 team spirit when we put all the right players in the team. That is absolutely phenomenal. I want to get it to 99, which is going to be very, very tough because obviously we lose and we draw and we have to switch up the team because of the Europa League and so many games in this season. But yeah, those are all the players that are going to be staying or leaving next season. And now let's get into some player evaluations, how I think they fared this season. And I'm going to be starting with the newly signed players that I signed in the first season. So let's get on with Leandro Paredes. He was a signing that I really wanted to make with the departure of Ricardo Montolivo. He was the regista that I wanted to play in the center of the park. Then I switched to a 4-4-2. I switched to a 4-3-3. I changed the formation the whole season, but he never really moved out of that central midfield spot. He was either playing in front of the defenders or a little on the left side of midfield. I think he did very, very well in this first season. He had a lot of very good games and quite a few very bad games, but when he did have some bad games, it was more due to the fact that the team wasn't playing well, their spirit was down, our stamina was terrible, and we just got off the back of some very bad games. I think Paredes had a fairly good season. I don't exactly know what his average match rating was, but I think it's over a 6.0. If it's not, then that's pretty stupid. I think he had a very, very good first season. He made some very good passes. He made some very good defensive plays, and all in all, he was a very, very good signing, and I'm going to continue to play him like I said. Next up, we're going to move to Douglas Santos. Now, Douglas Santos was a player that I wanted to obviously, make Antonelli slowly get out of the lineup and bring Douglas Santos into the lineup. And I think he did fairly well in the maybe 10 or so games that he played. He came in January. And honestly, I think he's going to be a good fit for the future. He's already 81 overall, I think at 22 years of age. So he still does have a lot of time to grow. And he's probably going to be a starting right back in the future. Maybe even this season, maybe even in the Europa League games. I think he's going to be starting a lot of the games. Good defensively, good offensively. He made some good crosses. He made some good attacking plays. He made some good defensive plays, some good defensive clearances. And all in all, he was a very, very good signing. I think I paid something over 15 million for him. I'm not really sure, but I think it was an absolute bargain. Next, we're going to get into Renato Sanchez, who didn't play that many games. He was at West Bromwich Albion for some reason instead of being at Bayern Munich. I don't know. He was on the free agents list, and I guess West Brom signed him. But I signed him, and I think he's going to be there to rotate with Kuchka. He's going to be starting in front of Kuchka, I think, this season. Who, like I said, Kuchka, I have no idea what I want to do with him. I want to keep him, but at the same time, I want to sell him. But at the same time, I want to keep him. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing. But Renato Sanchez, I guess he's been struggling to find his place in the first 11. But he's going to be here for a number of seasons. And I think he's going to do very, very well. I just need to give him some game time. And he needs to find some consistency and really transition himself into the first 11, and that's when he's gonna excel. I think he started to increase already to an 81 or an 82, and his future is looking very, very bright. Now, as for next season signings, I haven't really thought about it much. I don't know exactly what I need. I think I need a younger striker who's already experienced. Maybe somebody who's maybe 23, 24, maybe even 22, who's already in the high 70s, maybe pushing the low 80s. I maybe need another, I guess, defender or a right-sided player. What I need right now is a right midfielder because Suso has been playing so many matches and he's always dead tired after those matches. He plays almost every single match and I see it. He's drained. Sometimes he can't even finish a full match because he plays so many matches. I am going to look 100% at a right-sided player. I don't know exactly who. I want him to be Italian. I want to bring in a lot of Italians, maybe even for the strike spot. I want to bring in another Italian. You guys can suggest me some players. I'm going to take maybe a few days to look over it, and then next season is probably going to start maybe in about 2-3 days of this video actually going up. You guys need to suggest me some players. Don't make it absolutely incredibly crazy or unrealistic. I want to pick up a right-sided player because I need depth in the squad. Like I said, we're taking part in the Europa League, going to be a ton of matches to play next season, and we need our players fit for every single match because I'm pushing for Champions League, I'm pushing to at least make it to the semifinals, and I'm pushing for a high table finish. And even in the Coppa Italia, I am pushing to get into the finals because last time we lost to Juve in the quarterfinals and I was very, very disappointed about that. So yeah, for next season, I'm looking for a young-ish experienced striker and a young-ish experienced right-sided player who can play as a right midfielder and maybe could play as a right winger. I'm not sure exactly who I'm going to pick up. I'm going to look on the transfer list. I'm going to look for some players. I'm going to do some scouting. But yeah, I'm looking for those two spots to bolster for next season. A striker and a right-sided player to back up for Suso. So that has been it for this year-in review. Thank you guys so much for staying with me throughout the first season. Hopefully, you guys will wait for the second season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Do it!
Do what?
Just do it!
Okay, do what?
Do it!
Subscribe to my channel. But I already am subscribed. Oh. So subscribe to my second channel. And also, follow me on Twitter at the Nobz YT.
No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it!
But I can't.
Yes, you can!
Oh, okay.
Do it!